guys, welcome back. It's Shelby and today we are making an Easter egg decoration. So I bought one of those plain wooden eggs from the store and I'm going to be painting it up to be super cute and have a little pastoral scene on it. So I'm very excited for that. It's basically just paint and the egg, but I will link everything you need down in the description below if you want to make your own, along with my socials. If you like the craft or the video, go ahead and let me know by hitting the thumbs up button. I'd appreciate that. Consider subscribing and let's get right into it.
So I've got this ornament hanger that I'm going to use to suspend my egg. I have this wooden egg ornament, and it turns out that the string is actually way too long, so I'm just going to tie a couple knots in there until the egg can just hang suspended from the ornament holder without touching the table, because I want to paint it all white and I don't want any paint resting on the table or making any like flat marks on the egg or anything. So just take a basic matte white acrylic paint, paint the entire egg and let it dry, and then I still saw some wood grain and some of the brown showing through, so I actually ended up going in for a second coat and letting it dry, so I just have a nice blank white egg as a canvas to begin with. So the white on the egg is all dried and it's just a nice clean canvas. You can't see the wood underneath at all. And I'm going to be going in with a pink pearlized paint just to paint a few little flowers. So I've got kind of a thin little paintbrush here, but it's in a petal shape. I'm just going to dip it in the paint and then just press it down to create flower petals. Like that. So continuing on for about 2/3 of the egg around the back, I'm just creating little flower petals and flower shapes with the brush, just kind of pressing it in and then moving the paint towards the outside of the petal and kind of leaving less paint on the inside of the flower just to give it like a nice little texture to the paint. And just continue that around until you have all the flowers or whatever it is you'd like to paint surrounding most of your egg back. So you'll notice I painted the flowers on the back side of the egg, but I left about 1/3 of the egg exposed on the front with no flowers at all. I'm going to be doing something else there, so don't worry about that, but go ahead and paint flowers on, or whatever you want to paint, on the back kind of 2/3 of the egg and let that dry. The flowers are all nice and dry. I drew just in pencil like a little oval in the open place that we left, and now we're going to paint it. I'm going to start with a little bit of blue just up at the top. So basically I want to make this look like one of those little, like, I think they're called dioramas, with the little eggs with the little scene inside, but it's wood, so I'm not carving into it. But I need to make like a little picturesque scene that looks kind of like one of those diorama eggs, so that's what I'm going for. So basically the scene I'm going for is a beautiful field full of wildflowers, maybe somewhere up in the mountains, I'm not sure, but basically just underneath a gorgeous blue sky. So this blue is my sky, so I'm just kind of painting a nice solid back layer of that, and then I will be adding a little bit of extra detail on top of that. So once my blue sky is on there and dry, I'm going in with a bit of green to finish up the oval shape on the front of the egg. This is going on about the bottom 1/3 of my oval shape, and I'm not doing a straight line with it. I'm kind of bringing it up the edges. This is going to be the kind of grassy plant-filled area of my picture. So I do want to add a little bit of kind of depth to it and make it look a little bit more realistic. So I'm going up higher on one side, letting it kind of valley down, going up the other, but I am making sure it's opaque so that you can just see green and not necessarily the white of the egg showing through or the blue of the sky. Make it nice and opaque and let that dry. And next up after that, once your sky and grass are both dry, I'm going in with a bit of white paint and I'm going to be adding some cute fluffy little clouds, and I'm doing this just by having a bunch of paint on the brush and lightly tapping it, and what that does is it deposits the paint in a nice thick layer so it's completely opaque. And then it does it in these like little round shapes, so you can pretty easily build fluffy little clouds. And once the clouds are dry, or even beforehand, go ahead and take a stiff bristled fan brush with some bright colors. I chose to start with yellow. And don't saturate the brush, but just kind of dip the tips of the bristles in there and then lightly tap it over the green. And you want it to stay dots, like this is kind of a small miniature painting, so you don't want to blend over the green. It's very important to leave dots, so some are going to be more thinned out, some are going to be more vibrant, and go in with a couple different colors. And what this is going to do is give the illusion of thousands and thousands of thousands of little wildflowers in the scene, and that's what we're going for. So I ended up using yellow, bright orange, red, and a deep, deep purple. So you can see I'm going in with the red right now. And it's okay if it's not perfect your first run. Just make sure that you're stippling it really well so that you're not painting a solid color. You really want a little bit of space around each individual dot just so that it looks like you're gazing upon a beautiful field full of wildflowers, but from a distance. But you can still see almost each individual flower, even though they kind of blend into a sea. For this technique to look really good, I find I like to go in with a light color and then go in with my dark colors, then go back in with a light color. And what that does is just gives a lot of depth and visual interest to the picture. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of alternating between purple and yellow, but making sure that it doesn't get too dark and creating a few cool shapes so that it's not just, blotches of color. It kind of looks like the colors grow and kind of move with the landscape, and there's a little bit of movement to the flowers. So that's really important, but basically just tap on different colors until you're happy with how they turn out. Next, we're going in to add a little bit of background. So I wanted to add just a stand of trees. I thought that the field against the sky was a little bare. So I'm just going in with a deep green on a thin brush and kind of drawing straight lines just above where my field meets my sky, and bringing them down kind of taller on one side and then making them shorter as they go, kind of like they're in the background, maybe on a hill, and that it's going behind the hill that's in the foreground. And then I'm going to let that dry and decorate our flowers on the back, and that'll be it. And the final touch to the egg is to give the flowers a little bit of personality on the background. So I'm taking my purple and yellow from the wildflowers in the front and just creating the centers of the painted flowers on the back of the egg, just by adding a little dot in the center of each of those and letting it dry.
All right, guys, so here's how it turned out. Here's the back, and there's the front. Let's get it to stop spinning, shall we? And go into focus. There we go. So just cute little flowers with different colored centers. And then I love, love, love the way the picture turned out. So you've got your kind of trees in the background and then what looked like a field of wildflowers in the foreground. As you guys saw, that was actually really easy to make. I'll zoom in at the end with some up close pictures, but I also don't want it to hang. So the final step I'm gonna do is just snip this off. I will cover that with a little bit of white paint. And I got one of these little cute egg cups, and it's just gonna sit like that. Is that not so cute? I love it. So that's my little decorated egg decoration. I hope you like it. If you did, go ahead, hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. Go ahead and subscribe. I'll put some pictures at the end. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.